keep it real with ya.
Hey everybody, it's me, Minu, back another video with the same shirt that I had in the other video. That matches my bat pants that you can't see that I don't feel like standing up to show you. Something I want to ask you guys to help me with. We've already been talking in the Discord. I've posted about religion in the Discord, and we've gotten some great discussions, and I love you guys for that. As I talked to my therapist about spirituality and finding a sense of self, those things are kind of connected because we talked about how I can go to these other countries, even these dangerous countries, and still somehow feel at peace and feel safe, which to me was a good thing. But to my therapist was like, you should have been fucking terrified. Um, Whereas when I'm in the hometown where I grew up, I don't feel safe, and that's because I have a fucking huge ass family who I can run into at any moment, and I have family all over this side of the U.S. And so yeah, I don't feel safe a lot when I'm here, but when I'm there, I do feel safe because I don't see people that look like me, unfortunately. And that's due to the fact that I have a shit ton of trauma and I have a large ass family to the point where I don't know if this person I'm talking to is actually my cousin because I have a huge family. And for me, that's kind of like hurt my sense of self. Um, and my family is Baptist Christian, of course, we're in the South, but I never connected with any of that. I never connected with any of the Abrahamic religions in terms of believing in a higher power or anything like that. Though I do know that my therapist is spiritual. She's Native American. She's spiritual, and I have some friends who are spiritual. And I was like, how do I do that? Like, what's the spiritual book? What YouTuber do I need to follow? Like what I'm doing. And she's like, it's not a book. You can't just read it. You can't take a class on it. I was like, fuck you. And she was like, it's not a book because it's not an organized religion. It is a collection of beliefs that resonate with you that inform your own spirituality. No one's going to be the same. So there's no one who can tell you what to do or what works for you. And it's going to be a journey and it's going to take a lot of years of collecting different parts of different cultures and different religions or religious like things to create your own form of spirituality. And there's going to be the sense of self, and then there's going to be the sense outside of the self. um And I was like, you're making this very hard. And she's like, it's not an easy process. It's not going to be an easy process. You're going to have to put in the work. You're going to have to get out and connect with more people who are different from you and learn from their experiences and their cultures and take the things that resonate with you. For example, like I said, my therapist is Native American, but we are in the South. So that very much means she was raised with the type of religions you find in Southern America. That don't sound right. Southern USA. Um, and then she was like, none of that resonated with me. And then I started looking into her tribe and their history and their spirituality. Instead, that resonated with me. So that's just how it worked for her. But that doesn't mean she didn't spend a lot of time studying other options, other avenues, connecting with people, getting the pieces of their religion, say seeing what she liked, seeing what she didn't like. So same for me, I'm gonna do that. And I asked her to because this is something that bothers me. And I guess it bothers me because of my super woke liberal friends. No shade, but y'all real fucking judgy. And I felt like I could not explore other religions or cultures because I didn't want to be a cultural appropriator. And she was like, it's not cultural appropriation if, part of your spirituality is influenced by someone else's spirituality or like a piece of another culture. She says, now, if you change your name to Susan Walks with the Water, and start dressing a different way and acting like you are all of a sudden Native American, that's a different situation. And we've seen those people, and I don't want to be those people. But she said that she knows people who aren't from her tribe who have similar stories of like little supernatural things or urban legends and stuff that they believe in. And that doesn't mean that they are appropriating the culture, they just have some similarities. So she said that it's totally cool to explore other cultures and their religions, to see what resonates with you. And I told her one of the things that resonates with me, um, a part of my special interest, my thing that I just picked up as a child that I always loved. When looking at Japanese culture, there's this whole side of Japanese culture that they don't really talk about as much anymore, but there's a whole side of like the religious history and everything that informs like urban legends and informs like the idea of all these different spirits and demons and gods and all of that touch different parts of people's lives, and you see that in like when you're not dealing with the Abrahamic religions, because those get on my fucking nerves. Sorry, no offense to people who that's your thing, but I don't like it. um but there are a lot of cultures, even when you're looking at indigenous cultures, where they believe in these different type of creatures, or like cryptids, or things that are just exist within the world that we don't have to deal with all the time, but sometimes they like pop in, they pierce the veil a little bit. There's Japanese urban legends that still exist today, but then there's also a lot of old, like if you watch like some old Japanese monster movies, not Godzilla, old Japanese monster movies or old Japanese ghost movies, you'll see a lot of different spirits. I don't know another word for them right now, but these spirits, these creatures who have a whole history behind them of like why they do what they do, why they're in this world, how they interact with humans. Some of them eat humans, some of them are mischievous. um I've always found all that stuff to be very interesting. I guess some of it will be related to like the Shinto um culture and religion, and some of it would be related to like Buddhism. there is a there's just like different things that intercept to make the Japanese culture that is today. But there's a lot of stuff in that. There's a lot of supernatural things that I just always found interesting. Like I always find stuff about cryptids and supernatural beings to be interesting because I feel like it's very selfish for humans to be like, yeah, we're the best thing that has ever stepped foot on this planet. And the entire history of this planet, and we're awesome. And like it's very much a, I don't know, it feels very American to just be like, yeah, and we're the best. And like, if Godzilla was real, we would just nuke him and then we'd be cool. Like, cause we just the best of everything. We're top tier. We're top of the food chain. Blah 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 blah. I don't really believe all that because the earth will wipe us out anytime it wants to. Like it'll be a big ass earthquake and now you ain't talking so much shit no more. Now you're calling for help. Um so it's just always seemed kind of selfish to me, for people to be like, no, it's just us. We're the best. There's nothing better than us. Um, so those like parts of culture and religion where they're like these things that aren't animals that we're used to or humans that we're used to that just regularly just pop up and they do whatever they want. Um, or like ghosts or demons or whatever, not in the religious sense of like, ooh, I need a crucifix, or ooh, I need holy water because God will cleanse the room and all that bullshit that my family would try to do. Be like, yeah, we put holy oil or holy water on the doorknob and then you touched it, so you got blessed. And I'd be like, shut the fuck up, you stupid. N- ain't nothing special about that damn water from the sink, okay? But you know what I mean? So I always thought that other stuff like the little superstitions and stuff were pretty neat, I guess. Do I believe that in a higher power that's like interested in my life and whether I do well? Not necessarily. And my therapist told me that it doesn't have to be a higher power. It just has to be something outside of the self. And she said she's treated people with addiction, and she never tries to force religion on them. She never tries to force higher power stuff on them. It's always finding something outside of self, whether that be nature or human connection, something outside of yourself that does its own thing, that you don't change or anything like that. And people tend to find comfort in that. Like nature was a big example of no matter what you're doing, nature has a way of resetting itself, and it can, if it wants to, wipe everything out and then start over. And they know we can do about that. That's out of your hands. Some people will be like the ocean. Cause whatever we do, the ocean's gonna do what it do. You can splash in the water, but you're not gonna change the way the ocean operates. I hope that makes sense. Cause I was like, it made sense to me when she said that. Um, because when I was little, I would make fun of my family and be like, "Well, I believe in nature," and they would be like, "What in the devil shit you talking about?" Like they would get so upset, and I'd be like, "Yeah, nature, blah 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 blah," and that's so witchcraft for them. Um, but I thought it was so funny when I was a kid to be like, "Nah, I don't believe in God. I believe in nature." um, but that's the thing. And she said one person had, they said that the thing that they believe in outside of themselves was human connection. People come into your life, they come, they go, new people come, you know, they stay for a while, you enjoy them being there, and then maybe they will leave and someone else will come. And just that human connection is a thing that it ebbs and flows, it comes and goes, it changes. Um, and it's outside of you, right? Because you can't human connect inside yourself. Like you have to do it with other people. So people come and go. So it's just something to believe in that is outside yourself. And that's why, and she told me too that I was blocked. Like she was like, "You're blocked." And I'm like, I know. Because I was so afraid of, even though I felt like my family was on some bullshit, it was heavily ingrained in me that anything that was not Baptist Christian specifically was just no, no. Don't look at it. Don't think of it. Don't talk about it. It's all, wrong, or it's going to hurt you, or it's the devil. And then when college, it was like, oh man, I would love to interact more with all these different cultures. But then it became like, no, don't do that. You're going to appropriate the culture. You're going to be racist. Like to the point where I would be like watching media from another culture and have a moment of like, oh man, this is cool. And then be like, oh, but I can't enjoy it too much. Don't want to be racist. And it's just like, it's just too far. And that's what some of the liberal progressive shit pisses me off. It's because it just goes too far to where it just makes you like, it goes so far that it ends up in the other direction. And that's the problem, because I really enjoy when I do get a chance to watch media that is created by indigenous people, to listen to songs that are created by indigenous people, to watch movies, TV shows that are about indigenous people, whether no matter where they are, basically. Um and I want to be able to enjoy those, and I want to be able to be like, okay, let me learn about the skinwalkers. Let me look this up. You know what I mean? And like, let me learn about the culture, and then there's this block about like, oh, if I listen to this music, or if I sing along with the song, that's what the liberal stuff ingrained in me, that reinforced that block of like, it's not yours, so you can't enjoy it. But then that's the same thing that white people do when there's black media. They say, oh, it's not mine, I can't enjoy it. And then the people who could have enjoyed it, that could have brought revenue to a show or a movie, isn't there because people feel like they're not allowed to enjoy it. And I don't like that. I don't rock with that. So I'm going to continue to explore these different cultures. So I'm gonna need help on that, because if I can't just read a book that tells me how to do this, I'm gonna be struggling. So I want to hear from you guys, whether in the comments or in the Discord, your experiences with spirituality, your experiences with religion, the parts that resonate with you in terms of like your worldview. It's two parts that my therapist said that we're gonna work on. One is the sense of self. Who am I? Who am I? You forget that when you have trauma before the age of 5, before you can even remember things, and you have trauma, you never really develop a sense of self. So who am I need to go on that journey. And then two, what is something that I believe in that is outside of me? And that can be literally anything, but something that is outside of me, because if I only believe in me, and I am a collection of trauma responses, then I only believe in trauma. And I can tell you that has very much resonated with me when she said that. And as I go on this journey of figuring out what resonates with me in terms of a belief system outside of myself, I'm also going to be working on finding out who I am and developing that sense of self as well. And also the people who are into the parts of spirituality that people don't talk about, the Wiccan stuff, the scary stuff. I love satanic stuff just because it pisses off Christians. Like, um, I love when I see 666 on something because I'm like, ooh, if I post this, all the Christians on Facebook they gonna be freaking out. They're gonna be like, oh no, it's the devil, and it's so funny. Um, but yeah, like if you practice Wiccan culture or witchcraft or whatever, that's also interesting to me too. I know people do stuff with crystals, like whatever it is, I just want to hear about it. I want everybody to be able to share these interesting parts of their culture with me, your culture and your history, because I am a big history person. So I would love to hear about it from you guys in the comments. If not in the comments, I want to hear about it in the Discord. Like I said, everybody has something to bring to the table, even if you're, you know, I'm Christian and I've always been Christian, and this is why. Tell me why. I want to hear it because you're important too. So, that's all I want to talk about. Just a little quick video talking about spirituality and the spiritual journey that I need to go on. Because I do feel like that's going to help. And I feel like the fact that I'm even able to open myself up to looking at this shows how much progress I've made with my mental health. Because once you're out of survival mode and you're no longer concerned about, where if you're going to have a place to stay or money or anything like that, that's when your brain is open to looking at these higher level things of who am I? How do I relate to the world? And all of that. So I'm really interested to see. Oh, see, you give me little eye blinks. Sadie's blinking at me, even though she just tried to bite me. Oh, I love you too. Thank you. She just going blink, blink, blink. Ah, she just blinked back at me. Oh, I wish you could see it. But the second I put this camera in her face, she's gonna run off. Anyway, if you guys want to support me as the holidays here, if you want to throw me a few dollars here and there, you can do so on coffee. Like I said, please join the Discord. We're having great discussions there. Everyone who's joined has been great. I love talking to you guys. Um, and what else? You can follow me on Instagram where I post photos of my cats and also delicious gluten free foods. That's pretty cool. And yeah, like I always say, thank you guys for listening to me and supporting me. And make sure you're drinking your water. It has to be water. Water. Drinking your water, eating your food, taking your naps, and loving on yourself because no one else is going to do it for you. Um, well, I guess I do love you guys, but I'll see you in the next video. Bye.